forget that one of the views of you has Mallory Hartley's Michigan State cam, which
Where's
is
that?
Well, it's the little box that I added.
But
It's a graphic that I never took away,
Yeah.
and so sometimes I click on the wrong
Mallory's
view.
not here, otherwise we'd go to the Michigan State cam,
Yeah, that's true.
which would just be heard
Morning.
morning. Hello. Happy opening day
Happy opening day.
for your World Series champion Texas Rangers.
Correct.
This is I have a take.
Okay.
So the Texas Rangers tonight, will take the field for the first time as World Series champions.
They should
Never
just
happened
stop.
before. They honestly should. And people have asked. I've had, I think people know this. I'm a pretty big Rangers fan. They've asked me like, "Hey, do you think the Rangers are going to be good if they go back to back?" I'm like, I don't care. This is the ultimate gravy year.
I'm
Like
good.
the Rangers could go 62 and 100, and I'd be like,
It's okay. We still won the World Series.
still won the World Series. Like I got everything. Because this is a strange place for me. I only root for losers.
Yeah, that's fair.
There is not a team in my life that is good. Mm-hmm. Okay, I picked a soccer team, right?
Yeah, QPR
They're a
is not
garbage
good.
soccer team, right? I'm not a Cowboys fan,
Yeah.
right?
Which
but
is
even still,
just-
I'm glad for that.
Yeah.
Most of the
I was
time.
like, I don't know. In my lifetime, Cowboys have never
Hey,
been good.
I went to Mizzou. Mizzou has never won a national championship in. They're very good. Mizzou's very good at wrestling.
I was fixing to say they're a wrestling school.
Very good at wrestling. They're actually really good right now at softball. Very good softball team. They're like nationally ranked. Anyway, all that's to say, this is my favorite team winning its first championship. I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I really do, and I'm mean this sincerely, I do worry that this is going to have a real tangible impact on the way that I view sports. Because I've only ever known it one way of I root for the loser team. And now it's like, how do you root for a team that won?
It almost makes you feel like you're and you're not, but it makes you feel like the guilt of bandwagon.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Absolutely.
oh yeah, when you tell someone, oh, I'm a Rangers fan, they're going to be like, was last year your first time watching baseball?
I'll tell you what, it's so funny. It's so interesting because it's so interesting mention that. I got a haircut earlier today. Mm-hmm. Humble brag. I got a haircut earlier today. And there were two other dudes sitting in the waiting room, both wearing Rangers things. Mm-hmm. And it's possible that they're just going opening day today, and sure. But it's also possible they just wear Ranger stuff. Yeah. And I'm like, that's super foreign. This is the team nobody cares about. In this
well,
city.
and the reason that I knew, I understand how you're feeling is because every single time I tell someone I'm a Spurs fan, they're like, hopped on that bandwagon when they won 5, didn't you? And I was like, no, I grew up down there. I was like, that was the only professional team within an hour and a half of us,
this is a strange moment in my sports fandom, and and it's going to take some processing.
Yeah, every time I say I'm a Spurs fan, people just look at me like, yeah, I'm sure you are.
Like, I talk a big game right now that if the Rangers, I don't want I don't care what the Rangers do this year, but if they're in playoff race, I'm money's going to be where my mouth is. I'm like, I actually really care.
I actually really care.
It's interesting.
It would almost be easier if they just absolutely suck this year, because then it's then that's fine. We still have the World Series. If they're good and they were to break your heart, it's like, oh my God, we're actually getting to be a good franchise.
This is in 2011. In 2011, I was at some random regular season game with my buddy Matt. Hi, Matt. Not
your brother Matt.
Not
buddy Matt.
He's my buddy. My brother's my buddy, but this is a different
buddy.
He's probably the biggest Rangers fan I know. Bigger than me. He was the guy. I told you, he's the guy who flew out to Arizona for Game 5.
Yes.
He booked a flight that night and went out there for Game 5. And I remember in 2011, it was we were there. I think we were both there with our girlfriends, now wives. And we met up after the game, and he just said, "Man, I wish this team would go 62 and 100 so I could have my stadium back." And there's a certain element of that is man, it's gonna be tougher to get tickets. If they could just be garbage for a minute, I could go to games more easily.
Oh yeah.
This is one more thing before we get onto the show. So the Rangers play tonight, 6:35 on Thursday Night Baseball, the other night game. I believe it's the only night game. Is that right?
I think so, yeah.
It's at least it's on ESPN.
Yeah, it's the main one.
And so I believe, let's see the schedule. No, it's the only game in that time slot. There are 3 West Coast games there tonight, but they are the only game that's going to be going on at 6:35 Central Time, God's time zone. This is a me thing. This should be the only game today. The only game, if you win the World Series,
you have the only game.
You get opening night by yourself. All by yourself. They do it in the NFL.
Yeah.
We already know the Chiefs will open at home on Thursday night.
Yep.
To open their title defense. We know that. I want to say they do it in the NBA too. I think the NBA opening night, you get if you win the championship. you get it. I believe that happens in the NHL too. That should be a thing in baseball. Yeah. Is that if you win the championship, you get the opening night to yourself.
Yep. Thursday, and then everybody else plays on Friday.
And then everyone else starts on Friday.
Yep.
It's my hot take.
Yeah. I mean, if everyone else does it, why are we?
I think, for example, Michigan. I think Michigan should play on
week 0.
Week 0 or Thursday night. They should get a game there, and they should open the season. I think that should be a reward, a prize, is you get a big spotlight
game. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Now, did I care about this when the Nationals were world champions?
Absolutely not.
No.
Did you want to kick off the baseball season with the Cardinals in 2012?
Absolutely not.
No.
However,
now that it affects me.
Now that it's about me. It doesn't matter. Anyway, happy opening day. Hit the theme expo. Pickle! Hit the air sign. For the last time from the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Bachelorette Pad in an undisclosed location in North Texas, I can tell you that much. It is Texas Football Today, a show that's packing up.
I literally just realized that the Welcome to Texas Football Today graphic that I always put up when you start the show says, "Coming to you live from the DCTF headquarters in Louisville, Texas."
Yeah,
I was today years old when I realized that.
Today,
sorry, I messed everything up.
My name's Greg Tepper. I'm the managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine, TexasFootball.com, a corresponding website. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. Whether you're watching us live, TexasFootball.com, Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, or listen to us to the podcast, which you can subscribe to on the podcast vendor of your choice. Either way, thank you for doing your part. Support your local mediocre internet show. I'm sitting here in this chair for the last time, sitting over there. Not in that chair for the last time, because I presume, because she lives here.
I do.
She's our producer. She's the Duchess of the Dork. She's Ashley Pickle.
Hi, friends. Shmuel said that the NBA has 2 games on opening night.
2 games? Mm-hmm. Okay. But the champs
get
1.
I
presume champs would get 1. 2 games.
I think
I'm okay with 2 games. Like, how about
do a day game and
how about the Diamondbacks get to play during the day, and then the Rangers get to play at night? Like National League Championship maker. Oh, that's just me. That's just me. Today is Thursday, March 28th, 2024. It is 245 days until Thanksgiving. Happy birthday, too. Do you have any friends who were born on March 28th?
I don't think so.
You don't have any friends who are born on March 28th. According to the internet, today is the birthday of Lady Gaga.
Oh, nice. I like Lady Gaga.
She is about 3 months older than I am.
Mm.
Would you believe that?
Yeah.
That we're about the same age?
It seems odd.
Because she's successful.
Yeah, I would think that she was
popular
younger.
And valuable to society. Today's also timeout.
Hard stop.
Today's also the 69th birthday of Reba McEntire.
Oh, let's go.
It's a big day. That's all due respect to Miss Gaga.
Mm-hmm. We gotta.
Today's Reba's 69th birthday. It's a big day.
That rocks. That just rocks so hard.
Big day. Just
happy 69th, Reba.
No words. Should have sent a poet. It's episode 1743. On today's show,
53.
53? Did I say 43?
Yeah.
53. 1753. On today's show, folks, we're going to be eating out of the fridge.
Opening up the sink.
I'll explain to you what eating out of the fridge means coming up here in just a moment. In the back half of the show, it's Helpful Honda Mailbag Friday.
Thursday.
We are answering your questions about high school football, college football, recruiting, lifestyle, romance, travel, where we are broadcasting from, where we're going to be broadcasting from. Whatever questions you got, let us know in the comments, Facebook, and YouTube. We'll get to a bunch of them in the back half of the program. Programming note, this is the last show of the week, and it's the last show until April 8th. So here's the whole rundown. We've been here in the Bachelorette Pad, which is Mallory and Ashley's house, broadcasting and doing the show. It's been fun. It is because we have had major construction, major renovations at our offices, which is where the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Studios are as well. Those are nearly complete. Mm-hmm. Next week, we will be spending a lot of time putting the finishing touches on, I guess we could say it now, the new studio.
Chung chung.
The new studio and the new look. And so we'll be putting the finishing touches on that. So we will be dark next week.
Yeah.
We are.
I got a lot of wires to hook up.
We're going out of town tonight, or right after the show, actually. We got to go do, we got a meeting that we've got to go to. So we will not have a show tomorrow, and then we'll be off next week. We'll be back April 8th for the new relaunch of the new Texas Football Today. You will not want to miss it. We've got a lot of fun stuff in store. We can't wait for you guys to see what we've been working on. We're very excited about that. Do we have first four through the door?
We sure do. It was TJ Hudson, jersey number 69, nice. Joey Hill, and Big Jiggly Water Balloons. Welcome in, fellas.
That's how you do
Schmale missed it by 1.
That's how you do it. Oh, Schmale. It's tough. Keep trying, buddy.
Schmale.
We can do it. All right. We're going to have a segment we've done a couple times on this show.
Who's hungry?
Who hungry? Called Eating Out of the Fridge. When I showed up to Pickle's house today, she goes, "What do you want to do on the show today?" And I told her the truth, which is, I've got about 3 things that I want to talk about that are probably not beefy enough to support a whole segment. Mm-hmm. But if we were to combine them all together into one segment, they would be a pretty robust segment.
Then it's a beautiful leftover in a tortilla.
And that's what we're doing here. We're eating out of the fridge, right? You got a little bit of spaghetti left. You got a little bit of taco meat left. You got maybe you guys made broccoli the other night and stuff like that. Oh,
and you don't want to let it go bad.
Individually, they're not going to fill you up.
No.
But if we put it all together on one plate and heat it all up, got yourself one more meal. That's what we're doing here as we're eating out of the fridge. We're going to start with something that I want to tell you to go to TexasFootball.com about. That the new episode of Tep and Step is up for subscribers, for Dave Campbell's Texas Football subscribers. That's our premium podcast, a high school football podcast where Matt Stepp and I, our high school football insider, discuss about all things Texas high school football. And I want to particularly get your attention onto this episode, our March off-season episode. We go monthly in the off-season, and then we go weekly during the season. Because at the end of the show, we have about a 25-minute discussion on, I think, a pretty big topic, which is
the alphabet.
Recruiting in Texas high school football and allegations of recruiting and punishments of recruiting. This is on the heels of the Galena Park North Shore Andrew Cameron ruling from the UIL, where they ruled that Andrew Cameron was engaged in recruiting players from other schools. We kind of talk about it. The reason we're always open and honest on this show. I want to be clear. I like using the premium podcast as a place where we can speak a little bit more freely and like openly, where in the sense of like we don't have to worry about time as a constraint, right? We can just kind of go and talk until we're done talking about it. And so and there's almost nobody in Texas high school football who knows the sport better than Matt Stepp. And so I was very interested in his take on functionally the question of, is recruiting a problem in Texas high school football? Is this something that we need to be concerned about? Is it something that is a big, widespread issue in Texas high school football? What can be done about it? What role does the UIL play? What role do schools play? What role do coaches play? Etc. So we kind of dive into that. We have about a 25-minute discussion on that at the end of the podcast after we talk about coaching changes and UIL realignment stuff. So go check that out. It's at texasfootball.com. The new Tep and Step. We tackle recruiting in Texas high school football. Okay.
So there's side dish 1.
There's side dish 1.
Side dish 2.
Okay, that's the one Tupperware. We're going to close that Tupperware,
yes.
Put it in the sink.
Sink, clean.
Get out this other Tupperware. Yep. Oh! Let's talk about another fun thing. Let's talk about gambling.
Yeah.
So, I am...
There's a lot of ways this could go.
I am somebody who likes... I like to gamble.
Yes.
Gambling is fun to me. Now...
On things that are legal to gamble on.
I want to be very clear. On things that are legal to gamble on.
We only legally gamble.
I have done the daily fantasy thing.
Mm-hmm.
I have done... I mean, fantasy football is a form of gambling, right?
Yeah.
Our NCAA bracket pool is a form of gambling, right? It is. It's very small margins, but it is. I do enjoy going to casinos. I like doing it, right? That's something that I do not mind doing.
Yeah, the sports book on professional
sports
sports is fun.
A lot of fun. Absolutely. Also, and this has been a big topic over the past couple of weeks, the prevalence and emergence of gambling in our culture feels like, and especially with regards to sports, feels very fast and very aggressive and perhaps too much. And I think that you are seeing a number of things that are coming out of this. One, as it's opening day of baseball, the Shohei Ohtani thing. Mm-hmm. You've been keeping up with the story? Mm-mm. If you haven't kept up with the story...
I've heard of it, but I haven't been keeping up with it.
Here's the 50,000-foot view of it. Shohei Ohtani is probably the best player in baseball.
Yes.
Right? He's the reigning AL MVP. He is now under investigation from Major League Baseball in that his translator got in the hole $4.5 million to a bookie, an illegal bookie, and it was Shohei Ohtani's money that paid that debt. The reason we know this is that the bookie has been charged federally. The feds went and got him. Then you cannot run an illegal book. It's literally called an illegal book.
Yep. And
so now, to hear Shohei Ohtani say it, he will say, that money was stolen from me. That money got stolen. This guy stole millions of dollars from me to pay his gambling debts. That is also what the translator is saying, but they are investigating this because obviously you cannot gamble. That is a big thing. They banned Pete Rose for life for gambling on sports. That is a huge story right now because if they were to find out that maybe it is his gambling debt, maybe he was the one who was running up that tab, or even if he just offered to pay it with his own money if it wasn't stolen, then he's in big doo-doo because you cannot pay money to knowingly to an illegal bookie because that is a federal crime.
Yeah.
So that's one thing.
That would save the Dodgers a lot of money.
Yeah, but he's pretty good too.
Yep.
Have you seen the story about Jonte Porter? Jonte Porter of the Toronto Raptors is under investigation by the NBA following multiple instances of betting irregularities over the past several months. Specifically, they are saying that Jonte Porter of the Toronto Raptors, in games between January 26th and March 20th, was betting on prop bets on like daily fantasy apps. Think like Prize Picks or DraftKings or FanDuel.
Yeah.
And basically saying, one of the allegations is, hey, Jonte Porter over under 2.5 3-pointers made. Well, he can make that happen.
Yeah.
He can make that happen. So he's under investigation for that. There was also the story that came out of Cleveland, J.B. Bickerstaff. J.B. Bickerstaff, who's the coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers, came out and said that he has received threats from gamblers basically saying, hey, why aren't you covering this? Why aren't you doing this? You are costing me money. That he has been threatened by people. Quote, they got my telephone number and were sending me crazy messages about where I live and my kids and all that stuff. So it's a dangerous game and a fine line we're walking for sure. Folks, I'm here to tell you that these stories are not going to stop.
Yeah.
Because, and I want you to think about it. You're younger than I am. Much younger than I am.
Correct.
But even in the past, go back 5 years ago, and there was this kind of understood line between like sports and the coverage of sports and gambling. There would be like a wink, wink, nod, nod understanding of it. Like Brent Musburger would always say, like, "Oh, there's some people in the desert who are really going to like that touchdown." Like just wink, wink, nod, nodding. Now it's on the screen.
Yep.
Now it's every commercial break of every sport. And we are, I think that I don't want to tread lightly here. There is a certain element of predatory to this in the sense that these companies, these casinos, that's what they are, they're casinos. They're not charities. Like they didn't build Vegas on winners. Yeah. You know what I mean? So we are, and especially for like younger folks, younger kids who can get on their phone and place a bet and stuff like that. I worry now that there's too cozy of a relationship between sports leagues and these gambling partners because they pay a lot of money, right? They pay a lot of money to be a part of that and to use them as a platform to promote their stuff. I think it's a fine line you've got to walk because certainly if you want to gamble, I think you should be able to gamble.
Oh, yeah.
But there's too cozy there. To me, it's getting to a point where there's almost too cozy of a relationship between there, and you're going to see these stories more and more. I think it's the ease at which you can do it. Absolutely.
Because having to get on a plane and go to Vegas to go to a sports book is something that you can do. And if people are really into it, they can do it as much as they want. You can move there if you want to. Yep. The fact that anyone can pull it up on their phone and instantly do it, because I was talking to, I won't say who, but I was talking to a family friend of ours that has a 17-year-old boy that then, or 16-year-old boy, and there was a bunch of his friends around and stuff like that. So we're talking one of the last times I was home, and it was just crazy the amount of kids that were like, oh, you can do Prize Picks, and it's like, okay, well, one, I don't know if that's like super legal, and two, it's just so easy. I mean, you can download an app and put in like, oh yeah, I'm over 18, and then just be done with it, and it's like, not good.
Yep. It is,
or their parents are putting in the bet for them.
I mean, here's the thing. Like, it's an interesting situation because, like, okay, I'll give you an example. I grew up going to Arlington Stadium and watching the Texas Rangers, and there was a cigarette ad in right field. You don't see that anymore because they made the decision that no, we're not going to let there be this advertising in stadiums. And then I think it ended up being nationwide. You can't advertise cigarettes. To me, this is me. I worry that there's too cozy of a relationship between them. And you saw, by the way, the NCAA president, Charlie Baker, came out yesterday, I believe it was, and said, we want to get in front of this, and we want to make it so that you cannot bet on prop bets for college athletes.
Yeah.
That you can't say, oh, I want...
because then it's not targeting one specific person.
Yeah. Chandler Rogers, over under 299 passing yards or something like that. They want to try to get out of that. They want to draw that line.
Well, and I'll say...
And it's just, I mean, right now it's a Wild West.
Yeah, and I'll say the NCAA, I think we've made it very clear that the NCAA doesn't do a lot of things right, but the one thing that I do know for a fact is that, one being that I did work at an athletic department as a theoretically NCAA employee, everyone under the scope of college athletics, is that you are not, if you work in a college athletic department, you are not allowed to bet on any sports. The only sport you can bet on is horse racing because it's not an NCAA thing. So but even like a polo match, like there are colleges that have polo, all that stuff. Horse racing is the only one.
So you're saying like if any NCAA school, if there's an NCAA sport, you can't bet on pro sports either.
Yeah.
So what
nothing.
I'm saying, so in the sense of like you couldn't bet on like the Rangers Cubs game tonight,
exactly,
because college baseball exists.
Yeah. So like for instance, my fiance works at an athletic department under the NCAA. So like if we go to Vegas, he does not step foot in a sports book because he could get a violation or fired if the NCAA was to find out that he was betting on any sport other than horse racing. We can go to horse races together. We haven't. We could, but that is the only one. So yeah, like Super Bowl, can't bet on the Super Bowl. Can't bet on the Olympic swimming and diving thing. Like nothing.
Isn't that crazy? It's interesting times, and I do. Much like NIL, I think we're still in this in between where it's all been so fast that I think that there do need to be some guardrails. In my opinion, there do need to be some guardrails, but where those guardrails come in and how quickly they come in is yet to be seen. So that's another thing I want to talk about as we were eating out of the fridge.
Side dish number 2.
Taking that.
One last Tupperware.
Right, put that Tupperware back in there. One more thing, Pickle. Did you see the new NFL kickoff rule?
You see this, Kev?
Did you see this, Kev? Did you see the new NFL kickoff rule? The NFL is going to have a drastically different kickoff. Specifically, they are stealing from the XFL.
Which was why they put it into place in the first place. That was their trial run.
So this was...
I think we talked about this on the show at one point.
Yes, I think we did. Like, there were things that we liked and things that we didn't. Mm-hmm. The kickoff is strange. However, it makes... I think it's one of the things where it's going to look super strange on opening night, and the whole first week it's going to look weird, and then we're going to get used to it. Yeah. So here's the way that it works, okay? If you haven't seen the XFL kickoff, the kicker is all by himself on the 35-yard line. He's just standing there by himself. Same thing on the tee, whatever. Then the returner is back there as well. You can have 1, 2, however many returners you want. Mm-hmm. Every other player on the kickoff team, the team kicking off, is going to be on the opponent's 40... Yeah.
5 yards ahead of him?
The opponent's 45-yard line or 40-yard line. So what it'll be, so let's just say the Cowboys are kicking off to the Texans. Mm-hmm. The Cowboys kicker, what's his name?
I don't even know at this point.
Not Dan Bailey, whoever it is.
I can't remember.
He'll kick off from the 35.
The soccer guy.
25 yards ahead of him.
Okay.
On the other 40.
That's right.
All the other Cowboys will be lined up. On the 35, 5 yards away from them, will be the rest of the Texans, the blockers. And until nobody can move, until the ball is caught, or I believe it lands in the landing zone, which is like, I think, the 20 and stuff like that. Essentially what they said was that, and this is all in the name of safety, okay? It's all in the name of safety, as all these things have been. If you take a look at the concussion rates, okay, there was some crazy number that I saw, and I'm trying to find this. It's like that like kickoffs are only 6% of plays, but they make up like 20% of concussions.
Well, it makes sense
because full speed dudes.
This
running,
guy is trying to catch the ball, and if obviously if it's not a fair catch, then he's got someone 10 yards that's been running for 50 yards to go just pummel him.
Absolutely. And I remember looking at this whenever, and it's strange to see. The first time when you see it, it's going to look weird. However, I think that if you're looking to make the game safer, it will be different. Now, gone is the day of the surprise onside kick. That is the cost of this. You have, because the formation is different, you have to declare if you want to do an onside kick. We will see how that goes. There's another thing, if you remember, that the XFL did about onside kicks. They don't do onside kicks. What they did was you get one play from the 50-yard line, 4th and 15.
Yep.
If you convert 15 yards, you have the ball, and if you don't, then the other team gets the ball at the spot.
Yeah.
And you may end up seeing that. I like it. I think it's gonna be weird.
Yeah.
But I do like it. I also think this is something I've been thinking about. Is this the biggest difference now between NFL and college football? The kickoff rule.
Gotta be.
It's between that and like 1 foot versus 2 feet inbounds for catches.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like those are the two. It feels
that's probably.
like.
I wonder how this is going to affect the stock rate of kickoff returners. Because obviously they're important and that's something that people enjoy, but I also feel like when you start talking about the draft that you're not necessarily like you're going, oh, okay, Kevontae Turpin, he's really small. We're definitely not going to draft him in the first 1, 2, 3 rounds, but getting him and being able to use him for a kickoff return, fantastic. That'll be an added bonus. I wonder if those guys who are squirmy quick if their draft stock will go up a little bit.
Did you see the news out of Kansas City about the signing that they made? They went out and they signed Louis Rees-Zammit. Louis Rees-Zammit is a Welsh rugby player.
Oh my
God. Welsh rugby star. Now I believe he was at the Combine, and he's trying to break into the NFL. I think, and we all think of the Chiefs as pretty forward-thinking.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I think they looked at this and they go,
we need him.
That ability to offload passes and stuff like that.
Yep.
In kickoffs, that could be a real advantage.
Oh, yeah.
So there's going to be some weirdness, and we're going to figure out how, what works best.
Yeah.
Much like whenever they change some sort of rule, there's something that's going to be, there's going to be a strategy that's figured out.
I wonder at that point if they would start allowing more kickoff returners to be back there.
I think you can have
up to 2.
Well, I don't
is
know.
It 2 or 3?
I don't know. Maybe get a 5.
Yeah, I was just going to say, because then at that point, you start, out scheming the formations, and you're not having to worry about the blocking as much.
Because you're going to get some trickery.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to get some wild stuff. And I know the Cowboys have a guy who's the special teams coordinator, who's crazy. What, Fossil? John Fossil? He's a wild man.
Creative.
So, anyway, I want to talk about those 3 things. And now, look at that. Filled up our plate, had a nice leftover dinner.
Trish commented and said, "Where's the GBC?"
Eating out of the fridge.
I think it was the last one.
But that didn't make it. I passed the first meal. Anyway, that's eating out of the fridge. We're Texas Football Today. We're here every weekday at noon on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram at Dave Campbell's. See our fine work at TexasFootball.com. Coming up here in just a moment, Helpful Honda Mailbag Thursday. We're answering your questions. Get them in the comments, Facebook, YouTube. But first, a word from these valued partners.
I feel like bustin' loose. Bustin' loose. Come on. Get on up. Oh, yeah. Get on up. Bustin' loose when you wanna sing. Bustin' loose, baby, do your thing. Talking about bustin' loose, yeah.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Potter, Executive Director of Be Well Texas. Too many people are struggling alone these days, and alcohol and drug deaths are increasing. We started Be Well Texas to offer high-quality, science-based addiction treatment and recovery services anywhere, even at home. We provide compassionate, caring support virtually or in person. In many cases, there is no cost for treatment if you don't have insurance. Really. Welcome to Be Well, Texas. We're glad you're here.
Wing is the largest residential drone delivery provider in the world, delivering to your home in less than 30 minutes. Order using an app just like other popular delivery services, and Wing's automated drone takes care of the rest. It's fast, safe, and sustainable, and it's now delivering to parts of Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas. You can learn more at wing.com/TexasFootball. Again, that's wing.com/TexasFootball.
Born and bred in Texas hits a little different, as it should. Texans love doing business with fellow Texans. VCR Now takes its Texas roots as seriously as its many partnerships with schools and universities around the state. It's also why we're so proud to promote our brand in the pages of the Texas Bible, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and on the airwaves of Texas Football Today. Driven by producing quality broadcast video, state-of-the-art audio, and LED video scoreboards at affordable prices, VCR Now makes sure to listen to your needs in its athletic department before recommending the next best steps. Building great products is our business, and it's our focus on building meaningful, long-term partnerships with our clients that sets us apart. From our 24/7, 365-day help desk, the training lab in our hometown of Red Oak, or our sports marketing business plan that puts money back in the hands of our athletic departments we support, VCR Now is built to last. Reach out to us today at info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR Now. Again, that's info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR Now.
One last segment here in the Bachelorette Pad.
RIP.
It's time for Helpful Honda Mailbag Thursday.
The North Texas Helpful Honda dealers want to help you score on award-winning Hondas like the rugged and reliable 2024 Honda Ridgeline. Visit ntxhondadealers.com or your local North Texas Honda dealers to learn more.
So if you have questions about high school football, college football, recruiting, lifestyle, romance, travel, I don't know.
That's it. That's
about it.
That's the only
Let us
thing that
know
we
in the
can
comments,
answer.
Facebook and YouTube. We'll get to a few of them right now, including this first question, Ashley Pickle.
Let's go with, hang on, I lost my little sheet here. Where did it go? If you could take over one high school football team, who would you choose and how well do you think that you would do?
I want to start with this. Poorly. We'll take the second part first.
First and foremost,
Poorly.
no.
If there is something that I feel like I have learned as I have gotten older, and especially as I have worked in this job. Mm-hmm. Coaches, I think everyone thinks they can coach.
Yep.
Everyone thinks they can coach, and these dudes, it is mostly dudes in high school football, these dudes know way more about football than you think.
It's insane. The coordinators.
It's crazy.
Like, the coordinators alone.
It's crazy. That is the one thing that, like, I feel like if you, like stepping into that role, and this is not, like, some sort of false humility. I think I know a pretty decent amount about football, and I also feel like if I were to just sit in on, like, a week of team meetings at, like, a mediocre high school football program, I would be like, I'm the dumbest person in this room.
Yeah.
Like, by far. Because it's not just... Like, set aside all the things they do off the football field as far as being role models and mentors and leaders and things like that. Put that aside for a moment. Just the X's and O's part of it, like, and the schematic part of it, crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, all that's to say, I would take over, I would want a one-school town in like 4A or below with a pretty decent like talent pool.
Yeah.
So like immediately, like assuming I'm going to get fired after 1 year, because I will. Or one game. Like Stephenville.
Yeah.
I think coaching at Stephenville will be fun.
Yeah.
Because it's like you want to talk about everyone coming out and like that atmosphere. That's what I would want from the experience, is like feeling like, oh man, like we have a true home field advantage.
Yeah.
When Sweetwater, something like that.
Yeah, that's a good one. I was gonna say when like they've moved up and now they're expanding out. Like New Braunfels back in the day when like I was in school and stuff like that, before Canyon was there, like New Braunfels would be a sick program to coach at. Like, because before Canyon, they were the only school. They were in a beautiful part of the state. You're in your own little world, but also Austin's right there. Like that would have been a big hit for me.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's well go. See, yeah, that'd be pretty good. Alpine.
Yes.
He's coaching Alpine.
I would like to be on the staff under Matt Green at Lano at one point.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good.
If he's looking for an OC, I can help him out there.
It's pretty good.
Or like I said,
what's next, Pickle?
Defensive backs coach. Have you ever caught a foul ball?
Yes.
You have?
Yes. Yes. It's not a great story. I've caught multiple. And a lot of this has to do with the fact that I mentioned that my family's had season tickets for the Rangers since the day after they signed Nolan Ryan in 1989. Our seats are pretty good. Pretty good. They're pretty low. And we went to a lot of Ranger games. And so they've come in, and it's like, usually it's on like a hop and stuff like that. But I've gotten a couple of them, and it's pretty good. It's fun. Also, I'm not bringing my glove to a game. I think over a certain age,
you should stop.
However, I also want people living their lives.
Yeah.
Here's my bigger point. Okay?
Maybe if you only go to one baseball game a year, or, if it's your first baseball game in a long time.
I want people to live their life and do what makes them happy. I will say this, though, and this is a hard and fast rule. If you are over the age, if you can drink a beer legally in this country.
Do not wrestle a kid for a ball.
And you catch a foul ball, it is your obligation to find the nearest child and give them that ball.
Yeah.
That is your obligation. If you are over the age of 21, you have to, up until then, go nuts, you can have it. But that is to me, you are not allowed to keep it. If you want to grab it, take a selfie with it.
Yeah.
But then you have to give that ball to a child.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in that. I think like these dudes who are like trying to like muscle kids out of the way to get a ball, I'm just that's thumbs down to that.
Yeah.
If you want to get it, like I just give it to my kid. You
right.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's easy for me. But like if I went to a ball game by myself and I got a ball, my job at that point is to find the nearest child and hand that ball to them.
So I haven't caught a ball, but my face almost caught a
Nice.
ball. This is a crazy story. I'll keep it short. My dad used to work for Bluebell, and so Bluebell had tickets to both the Rangers games and the Round Rock Express games. Obviously, that's very close for us. So they were in the first row or the second row of behind the visitors' dugout. So at that point, the net, we were the first section that the net didn't reach.
Oh, yeah.
There was a man, so I guess we were in the second row. There was a man sitting in front of my dad that said, "Hey, just so you know, foul balls are likely over here. I would switch seats and put the kids as far in as you can, so then there's more people to kind of protect them."
Yes.
So we got up and switched seats. My mom and dad did. The ball came straight at my face. My dad had enough time to stick his hand up, and that thing hit the hell out of his hand. And one of the opposing players, he came back and picked it up, and he signed it for me after the game and gave it to me because he almost gave me complete reconstructive face plastic surgery. But yeah, my dad had literally just went like this as soon as that ball was hit, and instantly it was into his hand. LP goat. Yeah. So not a great story, but I almost caught a ball with my face.
All right. Ava is laying right here by the computer, which means that she wants to kick us out of our house, which means we have time for one more question.
One more question. Okay. Where did it go? If you had won the $1.1 billion lottery, what would have been your first obnoxious purchase?
Buddy, if I had won the lottery, you would literally... My wife and I were talking about this, because if you didn't hear... it was like the Mega Millions or whatever it is. It was like one person in like New Jersey had the winning numbers. So they won $1.1 billion, which I think after taxes comes down to like $560 million, right? Uncle Sam gets a big bite, but then you get $560 million. we joked. I was like, yeah, you just never would see us again. Mm-mm. I would disappear. I would not even contact you. I would leave. What I would do, because I think you know this, my younger brother lives near an apartment near our house. I would go and I would drop my house key on his doorstep, and I'd be like, this is yours now. You can have this.
Bye-bye.
I'll give you a forwarding address. You can send me any paperwork I need to fill out, but that's your house now. Goodbye. And we would be gone. Yep. And you would never hear from us. I'd be real boring. I'd be the guy who lives off the interest for the rest of his life. But I would probably...
I mean, mine's easy. I would buy a house. Like, yeah. I think that there, even if you're just going to be real easy with it, I think there are those couple tangible items that like you would use every day that you can go ahead and go get a big old house.
Yes.
Get a nice car. And then after that, it's like, okay.
I don't want a car.
Then I would stop. Okay, let me rephrase that. I don't want a Ferrari or a Maserati or something. What I want is just an upgrade. Like
I don't. I mean, I'd buy like a nice, reliable car.
Yeah,
I'd
exactly.
buy like something rugged and reliable.
Oh, a Honda Ridgeline.
I'd buy a Honda Ridgeline.
That's it.
But sorry, Ava. I would do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't want something crazy, but like I would want an upgrade.
I wouldn't want like what I don't want. I don't want people knowing that I'm rich. Like, or at the very least, I want to be away from people. And so what I would probably do is I would probably just I'd go on like some super ostentatious like big vacation because that's what I would want to do. To me, that money would only serve to give me freedom to go of my time and the ability to go wherever I want to go and do these things.
You know, it would be really smart too.
I might get like a suite at the Ranger game for like all 81.
What would be really smart is to go find a massive plot of land in a community that's booming and just go ahead and sit on that for a little while, knowing you're going to get insane offers off of it. Like that, like a huge plot of land outside of Austin or a huge plot of land over in Anno or something like that. You know, like go find something that can turn into an investment for where when you're gone, then the rest of your family can sell it off and reap all of the benefits.
Again, what I would probably do, like again, let's say it's $500 million. I'd probably take like $495 million of those dollars and I just put in some boring thing earning 5% and just live off that interest forever, right? Just live off that. And then I'd help out my folks and I'd help out like my family and like I'd buy Mallory something nice.
I get nothing.
What's that?
I get nothing. I get to babysit Hank while y'all are on your 8-month vacation.
And we could even pay you like a good rate.
Yeah.
Not a great rate, but a good rate.
Could you pay me enough to quit my job and just get to hang out with Hank?
I would. You want to be like Hank's nanny?
Yeah, I'll be Hank's nanny.
Yeah, Hank's like you're paid to be Hank's friend.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd probably take like $10 million or something like that, and I'd be like, all right.
This is my stupid money.
Let's go do something stupid. Like, I want to get like Ranger season tickets in a suite.
Honestly, like a beach house would be cool. Like not a beach, like crazy beach house, but just like a condo that you can vacation in.
But then once that's gone, it's like, all right, now you're kind of back to the boring. Now look, 5% on $490 million is going to be
you'll be fine.
Pretty good. But yeah, that's what I would do. I'm not that guy who's like, I'm going to start a restaurant. By the way, the numbers on like, have you seen the numbers on people who win the lottery and how many of them go broke?
Oh, yeah.
It's shocking.
Well, it's just like honestly, and there's been studies on this, like NFL guys going broke because they get those first couple of like huge paychecks and they learn how to like live like that. And then it's like, I mean, everyone's always said that Gronk is like unbelievable at saving money. And it's like, it's just so funny. But some of those guys, you get so used to living that lifestyle, not realizing that that's not guaranteed revenue at any stretch.
Another guy who's kind of famous for that, and we'll go here in a moment, but Dave Grohl. Who's who was the drummer for Nirvana, and then of course he's like a lead singer for Foo Fighters. Foo Fighters, as Christopher Walken would say on SNL. But he's like notoriously frugal. Like he lives in the same house that like I think he grew up in, and it's like he's like, yeah, I just don't spend any money. I'm like, why would I do that? So it's like I'd probably be like that.
Yeah,
I'd probably be like that. Now my wife would probably be like, I want to go get some nice stuff. And I'd be like, all right, that's what the $10 million.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, that's it. That's gonna do it for us.
Yeah.
That's it for the Bachelorette Pad.
Oh.
It's fun. Let's go. You have any final thoughts for the Bachelorette Pad?
Yeah, I'll be here tomorrow. And for a while.
You guys have WTF coming up at 2. Mm-hmm. It is on tape because we're going to be on the road.
Yeah, because we're leaving. Meeting. But no, I think the Bachelorette Pad did good. No problems.
I think it did very good.
It'll be really weird when we take down this setup and it's not just living in my house now. But shout out Ava. I think overall she did a good job.
Overall pretty good, although she attacked you a couple times.
Yeah, it's okay. So. Well, she does that normally.
It's going to do it for us. Remember, April 8th, the relaunch of Texas Football Today. In our brand new studio. You will not want to miss that. It's going to do it for us. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at texasfootball.com. For Ashley Pickle, I'm Greg Tepper. Vince Young, please bring your Player of the Year trophy. We will see you on April 8th for the relaunch of Texas Football Today.